Hello, everyone. This is Enigmatic Rose, and we are here for episode 46 on the 4th of November with NoCB podcast, a grand strategy podcast. Hosting today, I am Rose. We also have Bert.
Hello there.
And Father Loris.
Hello.
And Father Loris is the reason we're a minute late because he found a horse he had to go chase.
That's right, yeah.
Wait, what are these lies? What are these lies? For what? No, I'm going to stick up for my fellow Brit because we outnumber you today. No, today it was not Father Loris's fault. It was Rosebud's fault.
Oh no, I had it set to go live at 30. I was here and I said, let's start the recording. And then who didn't have his recording up?
It slowed us down by 10 seconds. This is slander. This is absolute slander, and I'll not stand for it.
So wait, but you're trying to put the blame on the baby?
Yeah.
The innocent little baby.
Clearly not innocent if we're late.
Oh. Wait.
Look, I've played enough CK3 to know that sometimes babies absolutely can be to blame.
Oh, yeah.
My empire fell apart because of a baby.
What, did they inherit?
Yeah. No, it was less of an inheritance and more of a dissatisfied new vassal thinking that the baby would be a better king than me.
Oh my goodness, that's when you know your rulership is bad, right? When a baby could be better than you.
I mean, have you seen the suggestions on my Twitter and Discord from the picture I posted yesterday? But let's not go down that rabbit hole. Babies being better. All right, we are going to start off talking about humankind because they just announced the Russians.
Yeah. So it seems like, this is obviously Tsarist Russia, right?
Yeah, it's got to be.
I mean, look at the picture. We've got the ermine cloak.
And it's Catherine the Great. It's got to be.
Yeah.
And the Cossacks is their emblematic unit. I feel like the Cossacks, they could be shared with Poland, honestly. Because when Poland were in their, Commonwealth era, the Cossacks were a big part of the wars that they had with Sweden, for example, both for and against them. Like the Cossacks were very involved there, and then the Russians managed to sway them to their side, and then Poland became not a thing anymore. It was a whole thing. But yeah, they're not Russians, and I think that kind of needs to be pointed out. Cossacks aren't Russians. They're like, they're their own culture. Group. Yeah, they're their own culture. That really could be, they could be their own nation, really, if history had turned out a little differently.
Well, this is a really interesting thing, right? Yeah, it's the interesting thing because there's two things that are distinctly not Russian here. So, like, it's Cossacks and sobriety, apparently.
Oh my God.
Isn't Catherine the Great herself not actually Russian?
I don't know, actually.
Oh
she
my
was German.
God, that's great. Why? Okay. So what is an actual Sobor other than
I don't know.
Not?
I don't know. Is it a Russian name for a church? I don't actually know.
Continuity with the Roman Empire. So I guess maybe Orthodox churches would probably be a pretty good candidate for that.
Yeah.
Oh, this couldn't have been Catherine the Great. She was reigning from 1762 until 1796.
Well, I think it's...
Well, I mean, when...
So who would it be? Because that is definitely
it looks like
a
Catherine
lady.
the Great. Yeah, it looks like Catherine the Great.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a specific person, right? I mean, like, because it's old history, I guess. I think it's just a... I think it's just it's a Tsarina.
Yeah.
I mean... I guess
that looks
so,
like
but...
Catherine. That looks like Catherine the Great a lot, but
Like we would feel it would be Catherine the Great because Catherine the Great reigned until 1796, and her successor was her son Paul, succeeded by an Alexander. and then we got a Nicholas, another Alexander, and another Alexander, and another Nicholas. I'm sensing a trend here. And then the monarchy was abolished. So I don't know. Would the industrial era be starting earlier than we would think? But I would have thought that was pre-industrial 1700s.
Well, for the Persians, we've got the Jazairians. They're a little bit later than Catherine the Great. We've also got at that era. Who else did we get shown to us? I'm just clicking through. The Mexicans, they also seem a bit later than Catherine the Great.
Mm-hmm.
The Italians have got the Alpini, or Alpini, or Alpina, whatever.
The Alpine dudes.
Yeah, the Germans have got U-boats, definitely post Catherine the Great.
Mm-hmm.
Cuirassiers are, I would say Cuirassiers are around about that time.
Yeah.
For the French. So, I mean, that one kind of makes a bit more sense. I feel like this era can be pretty big.
I think it's...
So maybe it's like late 1700s to early 1900s.
Yeah. I feel like that we're getting a big period. I mean, in fairness, the Bronze Age, more than 100 years. The Iron Age, a lot more than 100 years. So, having the eras be big is not in and of itself a bad thing.
Oh, yeah.
True. It's just, wasn't the last era the pre-industrial, or was that the modern? Now I'm forgetting what the era names are for humankind.
Yeah, me too.
I know from my video I accidentally called it the ancient era when I think it's the Bronze Age.
I feel like it may have been called that. I can't remember.
You start with a Neolithic, then it's the ancient, isn't it? And then it's medieval, and then it's this one, isn't it?
You keep talking. I'm going to scroll.
Here you go. Neolithic, ancient, classical, medieval, early modern, industrial, contemporary.
Yeah.
Right. So we're just missing the contemporary ones then. And I feel honestly, if you're going for a Tsarist era Russian civ for that era, for the industrial era, then putting Catherine the Great there is fine. I mean, your other option there is Peter the Great, and wasn't he even earlier? So
yeah, he was more early modern.
She's definitely the most famous of this period.
Yeah, apart from maybe
Also, it's just artwork.
Unless you count like Tsar Nicholas, I guess he's pretty famous. Towards the tail end.
For a nation that had only like 2 female rulers, they deliberately made the ruler here look female, which makes you think it's a specific person.
No,
yeah, I mean, it's definitely her. I mean, I do feel like we're going to get Russians in the contemporary period, but in a USSR. Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, it's either going to be Russian Federation or USSR, right? It's like one of the two.
It's going to be very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to hear the game is going to play in that era as well. It's going to be very, very
So for industrial, so far we have Austro-Hungarians, British, French, Germans, Italians, Mexicans, Persians, Russians. Makes me think if we're going to get, because that's 8. We've told them to only have 8, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we must be starting. No, we've had 10. So we're gonna get 2 more potentially, because medieval era had 10.
And this is also prime DLC era as well. Like all of these like different civs and stuff. That could totally be DLC in the future. So if there's something missing that you think is like, oh, this really should be a thing, you're more than likely going to probably get it at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So we've had 10 for every era so far. So we're going to get 2 more for the industrial period, which it's looking like is from like mid 1700s to early 1900s.
Yeah.
Got any guesses?
Yeah. I think we're going to see someone from Asia.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten an Asian one yet.
Yeah.
It'd be the Qing at this point, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or maybe it would be like Meiji era Japan.
Yeah, Japan would work as well. Japan would also be a pretty good contender for contemporary, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. I'm pretty sure we're going to get Japan with contemporary. Contemporary, I'm sure we're going to get Japan, US, Germany.
Yeah.
USSR, China.
I mean, we do have Germany with industrial as well. So
Brazil.
It would be more Germany.
Yeah, I think they'll probably double down on stuff.
Well, it's called, like, they showed with the Persians that they were willing to like rename the older ones. Like we did have Persians in the Bronze Age, I want to say. No, it'd be Iron Age. Yeah, it'd be Iron Age.
You mean ancient or classical?
Yeah, one of them, yeah. Classical. But
so
they got renamed to the
classical.
Achaemenids.
We've got the Japanese as they were called like Edo Japan, right? So
yes,
there has to be like a different Japan at some point.
Did we get the British in the industrial era?
Oh,
yes, we did. We got the
British. It was the British, and then obviously you got the English.
English is medieval, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we'd see a third British one for contemporary, or no?
We might, because the UK, United Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's not really a culture, though, is it?
No.
I mean, we've got the Franks and the French.
For UK, they might pull more inspiration and pull in some Scottish and perhaps Northern Irish, Welsh, more than they have previously.
Give our longbows back.
I was wondering if I'm going to be going like, I want to play as the British. Like, who would I flip into in the contemporary era, or would I just stay British?
Yeah, I mean that's always an option, right?
Yeah,
I think that's something people don't realize. I think you can stay as the culture that you want, and you don't get their new bonuses, but you get a bonus to your fame. I want to say
yes, it is. Yeah,
yes, which is your score.
Yeah.
And there we go, fans of the closed caption. We got them running again.
Yeah.
Gotta take the button.
British too. New British just dropped. Yeah. No, it's hard picks, really.
Yeah, because I can't see myself playing as the British in the industrial era and being like, you know what? Now I fancy myself being a Nazi. Now it doesn't really strike me as something I really want to do. If the Nazis are, contemporary. Yeah, maybe I should have chosen a different example.
I don't make it include the Nazis.
Sound like the USSR, a Soviet.
Yeah, I don't want to be a Soviet, or I don't want to be, People's Republic of China. This kind of like that might be one.
We might get India in contemporary.
That could be a thing.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to think of like what the modern superpowers would be.
Brazil, I'd say.
Brazil,
South America.
It's not a bad one.
Canada instead of... Who needs a USA? We'll just go Canada instead.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And
Saudis?
Who plays Hoi 4 and thinks Canada does all the work?
Let's not go into it.
No, nobody. Okay. So yeah, what do we think? USSR, USA, China, Japan,
Iran.
maybe Brazil.
Brazil.
Iran.
Yeah, I'd say Iran.
Iran.
Do you think the Saudis?
Oh, like Saudi,
Israel, maybe?
Saudi Arabia or something?
Saudis, Israel, maybe?
Israel for sure, like almost. Well, yes. I'd say for sure if there wasn't the whole baggage around it.
Yeah, but it could be a bit.
Turkey,
yeah.
Turkey.
Big Turkey, yeah.
Slovenia, superpower.
Finland.
Finland's, yeah.
Heir to the Roman Empire. I mean, we could see Sweden, something like that, as like cultural kind of.
I still think we'd get someone from South America.
Yeah, well, that's Brazil.
Brazil, yeah.
Oh yeah, I did say. So
Yugoslavia could be. Yugoslavia could be it.
What about Africa though? What if they did something like Egypt?
Yeah, I'd say Egypt would be a good pick there.
Yeah.
Maybe Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria's a good one.
There's. So I would think they'd want to get at least one nation from every continent.
Yeah.
For the base game.
And I don't don't think we're going to do South Africa, right? Because, I mean, it'd be kind of weird.
It would cause contention.
Yeah.
There's a lot that would cause contention. I mean, when you're going into a contemporary, like, you can choose cultures and do politics and stuff in a contemporary game. You're going to come into some stuff.
Yeah, and also where
fans.
you can, like...
yeah. Those people, yes.
Yes.
So it is going to be a minefield no matter who they choose.
I mean, people
You know what they might do, and kind of hate this, but they will probably do it anyway? They might choose the EU for contemporary.
Yeah.
They could do that.
Yeah.
Because that basically
really
means,
culture, though.
look, if you are, well, European as a culture in general, maybe, but they could do it as in, like, you know, the big blocks from each area. Like in Americas, you know, the USA is, let's be honest, is pretty much the most powerful block right there on its own.
Yeah.
China can fill a block on its own. The EU as a whole is about as powerful as America or China.
See, the fact that the company making this Amplitude, I'm 99.9% sure is based in Europe, I can't see them doing that.
I feel like it's possibly, I mean, like...
If this was an American game company, I'd put 50-50 odds.
Yeah, but then you got to think that it was a European person that just suggested that.
Yeah, but you said you don't want them to do that, but you could see it happening.
I can see it happening. I don't want it because I'm fairly, what's the word that isn't bad?
Biased.
I like my country.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
I think also from a business point of view, it's pretty bad, right, too, because you want to...
You'd say you're proud of your heritage.
That's it. That's the one.
That sounds worse, I guess.
No, you could say you're proud of your heritage, but you also realize that it has questionable issues.
Yeah. I
there
guess,
is baggage.
Everyone's proud of, parts of their heritage, I guess.
Honestly say I'm proud to be an American. Do I look at America and think, oh my God, there's a lot of things that need to change? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fair.
I ain't touching that one. Leave that well alone.
Yeah, if Leanna was here, Leanna could say something on it just being fellow American, but she's fallen into a wormhole today. So.
Yeah, I can recognize that the country I happen to be born in, where they claim land, has done a lot of shit in the past, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no nation is perfect.
Yeah.
No culture is perfect.
Apart from Wales.
And if you try and claim that your nation or your culture is perfect, then
you're an arsehole.
You got blinders on.
No, Wales, yeah. I think like Wales, Scotland and Ireland, for some reason get to cop out of a British Empire when we 100% don't deserve to, like, at all. You
know what? It's because Americans don't recognize you as a people.
Exactly. They just think British is English. But that means, all that slavery that a lot of Welsh people did.
Jeff is the worm. Praise the worm. Praise the Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Captain Kirkland
I do think...
what have a Welsh done? Well, you look up what the most popular surnames for Black Americans are, and you'll notice a lot of them are Welsh, and you can infer quite a lot of atrocities that Welsh people have done in the past from that knowledge.
Also, don't forget,
US
sheep did
accent.
not consent.
That's true.
And then the southern US accent is very strongly based on like Irish and Welsh.
Yeah. There's
a lot of people immigrated away to escape said British Empire, and then
became the bastards that they were escaping from.
No, a lot of people escaped to do a lot of slavery too. Like there was a lot of petty lords and stuff that went and did that. It wasn't just escaping the English. It was
slavery got outlawed in England, and then people who were like really loving the whole slavery thing were like, America's still got it. Let's go there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, and they had money to buy.
Mm. Well, because the way that the British got rid of it is giving the slave owners compensation for their lost money. Basically, the British Empire bought all of the slaves in the empire and then set them free.
Yeah. The Irish did that.
After,
which is,
but that was done
that's
after they made slave trading illegal, so people
Yeah.
couldn't rebuy them.
and then
Rebuy
forced a
people.
bunch of other countries in Europe to follow suit with our big ass navy.
Yep.
So that's one thing I actually am pretty proud of is Britain's role in ending the slave trade. That's something to be proud of as a Brit. I feel.
Yes, that is something to be proud of. See, that's seeing the good side and the bad side. And that's
Yeah.
something with all the cultures that we're seeing come in humankind. They had good sides, they had bad sides. And it's your job in the game to decide, where are you taking the culture?
Yeah.
Are you going to peacefully grow your empire and get lots of food and discover science and spread a beautiful culture to everyone without actually attacking them? Or are you going to be like Lambert and go on a war path with the most peaceful civilization in the game?
Look, maybe in time I will see a way to achieve goals through peace, but right now the blade's sharp and it's just easier.
You know what else is easier?
I'm sure you're about to tell me.
Yeah, looking at the lovely UI changes for Imperator compared to how it was before, or how it currently is pre-update.
Yeah.
It's real nice.
It's much easier on the eyes.
It is. I like the off-whiteness of it.
Yeah. No, and also the lots more color and stuff, but it's also not gaudy.
Yeah.
I do
it's
hear
nice.
that Lambert has a problem with pie, though.
Look, right. Pie is great for things like sustenance and it's a very good cure for starvation. It's not a very good thing when you're trying to convey information, especially kind of important information. When you get to that point, pie is actually kind of fucking terrible. I don't like the pie charts, especially because they're not even pie charts anymore. Now they're like donuts, and it's onion rings. The onion ring pie chart. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh, I love onion rings, so they're
Pie
great.
charts only really work when there's like two sides to look at.
Yeah, no, then you can basically make a comparison, like how big it is or whatever. But like, it just doesn't work here. I mean, especially if you look at the Macedonian one there, the culture ring.
But what if we pretend it's a macadamia nut cookie?
What? I don't understand. Is this an American thing?
Nut?
No, I don't do nuts. That's. Oh God.
Oh no.
I quite like the rings, personally. I think it's a nice, good way of showing a percentage.
Like, it
At a
looks
glance,
fine, but I am more interested in the numbers in this particular instance. And there is no numbers, so what use is it? Like, at a glance, showing you that most of the culture of your empire is green. Fucking great. What's the breakdown of the green? I don't like it. I don't like it.
You can mouse over it
Macadamia
from the
nuts are
numbers,
from
though, right?
Australia, by the way.
Fair enough.
From eastern New South Wales.
Like, the most important number when it comes to your culture and your religion is how many of my people are following my religion, or how many of the people I rule speak the same language as me. And I mean, I don't think a pie chart really conveys that at all. So honestly, what I would like to see, there was I'll see if I can scroll around and find the actual comment for it, because there's a really good suggestion that keeps the colorfulness of it quite nicely, but also isn't really bad as it currently is. It's basically to add in, a percentage underneath, and at the same time change the look of the ring to be a little bit better. Yeah, I found it. I will send that. I think you can show them that. I think this is a better system because, you'd be able to see exactly how much of your culture is actually your culture, because the blue part is they're Macedonians, but they're also Thebans and Athenians and Spartans and a bunch of other Hellenic cultures. So there's a little, golden highlighted bit to say, this is actually the portion of your culture that is actually your culture. The same, it's not the same for religions because, you don't have multiple religions within the same religious group. But, just having a highlight there for this part here is your religion. And I also think that, this sort of semicircle just looks better. It just looks so much better.
And it's a little bigger. It's easier to see than this.
I would say the only thing I'd change with that edited thing there is to show, you've got 12% Macedonian in your entire nation. Macedonian's obviously your primary culture. I'd also have another number underneath that saying maybe 24% integrated. Because obviously you can integrate cultures and they may not be Macedonian, but they're just as good as. So I would love something more like that. And I really don't like the way it looks for a gameplay perspective rather than a aesthetics perspective. Because aesthetically it looks all right, but just for gameplay wise, it's not good.
Both work, to be honest. I quite like that little sort of semicircle.
Yeah, the semicircle looks good.
Thing. Yeah,
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Well, Chad is agreeing with you.
Yes! Haha! Huzzah! Somebody, I think it was actually Agamade, was saying he was going to make a pie chart to see how many of the comments of this dev diary were talking about pie charts. And I'm like, I both hate that and I would love to see that. Because, my first comment on this is all about how much I really don't like the pie charts, and then I kind of spawned a civil war, which I'm proud of.
Yes, I'm not surprised you're proud of that.
Yeah.
We do know how much you love war.
Well, we have noticed this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. We've also
in general, a lot of the arrangement seems pretty nice. Yeah, it's like, it works. There's not much more like assets wise, like that we haven't seen before, but yeah, it's nice. I still think the backgrounds should be for the characters should be washed out a little bit, have a little bit of,
especially on the Asia one.
Yeah, and Syria too with the red. Too much color. I think it needs to be a little bit washed out. Apart from that, yeah, no complaints. Really nice. Looks beautiful. Color schemes gorgeous. That red and blue really work together with the cream.
Yeah,
I
like it.
Lovely.
The only thing I would critique on this is, you see next to Greece where it's showing you the income and the population of Greece. Why is that no longer there for Asia just because I've opened it up? I still want that information. Just keep it there. There's no reason to lose it just because I opened up Asia to see a breakdown.
There's no reason to lose the overview there.
As well, the information that you get when you open it up is not actually population, or it might be population with the number next to the name, but why is that not just still there? It should still be there. Otherwise, I like it. It's good.
Yeah. No, I think even on the character window, somebody commented that Casey guy says that they look great on the character windows. I think even then, he needs a little bit of washing out. A little paler backgrounds. I think it'll make the characters pop a little bit more, but still show off the backgrounds.
I'm going to just say the art guy knows what he's talking about.
That would be my little personal preference, I would say.
Look at the Asia guy. You can't hardly tell him from the background.
Yeah.
He's become one with the wall. He's discovered master camouflage levels.
Yeah, he's
in the bronze.
He's merely an insurgent. He's just hiding, waiting for an ambush.
I think that's such a little minor gripe on what is, let's face it, an utterly gorgeous
Yeah.
The UI. It's really, really nice.
I mean, yeah, all of my critiques are like so minor in the grand scale of like how much I like this update. All of the UI changes have been really nice. I'm just like, can I just point out this one thing, and then it's like going to be just, bring it even further. Like,
Yeah.
it's still really good, even if there is things that I can point at and say no.
Yeah.
What do you think of the artwork here? Our new religion screen.
Oh, we missed over the macro builder, which is really important.
Okay, fine, we'll go back to the macro builder.
There's only one thing I want to point out with this. I feel like it's been kind of understated on how important this is. When you conquer a nation, being as their AI, they often build trash. And being able to just open up the macro builder, click the tribal settlement, which personally I never ever want to have in anywhere unless I'm playing as a tribal nation. And then just right click on the map everywhere you see it and just have them deleted immediately is such a time saver. And no one's talking about it, and they need to, because it's such a good feature.
Does this make up for the pie?
I mean, no, of course not. This is great, but like, why not have both? No pie and also this. It's not one or the other. I don't have to choose, clearly. But yeah, I love the macro builder changes. That's really, really good.
Also, we have our new religion screen here, which I have to say is much easier to read, but also much more beautiful.
Yeah, I really like
what
it.
we had before.
I've got a pathological hatred for gradients. I don't like gradients. Less gradients for better. So make that a hard edge. Remember left and right side? I would prefer that, I think. Apart from that, no complaints.
Oh, really?
Maybe instead of a hard edge, make it look like torn paper.
Yeah.
Like the edges of all of the UIs.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a very good solution. I mean, you
Or
already
that
see
red
it's got a
border.
little bit of that effect on the left-hand side, on the top bit, but don't like gradients.
My critique of this would be the 3 temples at the bottom all have identical art. I think there's a really easy fix for this. It's like, right, every time that you've got, your 4 pantheon deities, they're always in categories. Like, you've always got a war focused, you've always got a civil focused, you've always got an economy focused, and you've always got a religiously focused deity to follow.
Yeah.
Give each one of those categories a different piece of artwork, and then on top of that, then add in your unique ones, like for Alexander the Great, your unique ones for Athena, for Ares, for, your big ones that people are going to recognize and think, oh, that should totally have a dude. Have the Temple of Zeus be one of them, that kind of thing. But having that baseline of 4 different pieces of artwork is so important, because I'm looking at this and, okay, we've got the Temple of Tentiris. It looks cool. It looks like, Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of shit. It looks awesome. But it also looks identical to the temple in Thebes and also the temple in Swinette. And like these places are not close together. It's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
We have chat saying that fertility temples would look interesting. But all I gotta say is that they would just have piles of like fruit and flowers.
And Aphrodite.
Things like that.
Oh,
have you seen
it would have that
fertility temples around the world? They exist, like in the modern day. There's a lot of penises all over the place.
The Romans drew major amount of penis.
Yeah.
Yes. But we obviously can't quite have that in Imperator, so
no, but like it,
they could just
totally
draw
could.
in.
I like it.
They could just put bananas in, totally in, anachronistic bananas, and let people draw their own conclusion.
Yeah, it's like the end of Banjo-Kazooie. I don't know if you ever remember that, like where there's a woman, a waitress, and she's carrying 2 coconuts, and I don't know how they got away with that on a Nintendo 64 game, but they did. So
lack of oversight.
Yeah.
All right, we just have more.
But yeah, I think just having that baseline 4 different would add so much.
Yeah.
less than 24 hours, modders will be on it. I mean, yeah, for sure, that's absolutely going to happen.
But he wants it in his game for his achievement runs.
That too.
I also quite like the idea
I love how you never used to get achievements, and now you're ticking away at them at Imperator and CK3.
Because, and I'll tell you the reason for this. Lucky Nations in EU4 is the worst mechanic in the game. It's actually really bad, and I hate everything about it. And I will never play with it on. If you don't play with it on, you can't get achievements. So fuck me, I guess.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, just really. I made a video about it. How much I hate that mechanic.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Here's some pretty artwork for temples.
And we have Benjamin Magnus in chat saying, "Whoa, saying anything bad about EU4 is forbidden." You just watch me.
I don't mind it personally. It's like I played a lot of Civilization, and basically the way they ramp up the AI was make them cheat. And EU4 Paradox games they do that, especially with Lucky Nations, but it's a lot less egregious than it is in a lot of other strategy
Well, I mean,
games,
just the fact that I can turn it off in EU4 means I will.
Yeah.
And Agama is there saying, doesn't Imperator have antagonist nations or something? It does, and I don't like that it does. But at the same time, I can't even turn it off. So it's like, do I just not play at all because of one mechanic? Like, if I could turn it off and not get achievements, I would, if that makes sense. But I like if Lucky Nations in EU4 was permanent and could not be turned off, I'd probably have achievements. Still hate the mechanic, but I would have achievements because I couldn't do without them. I couldn't play the game without getting them, if that makes sense.
If you were playing Iron Man.
Which I do, even without having Lucky Nations on. So.
But you know what? Speaking of all this Lucky Nations in EU4, we do have an EU4 dev diary.
We do indeed.
While the Golden Century was easily the worst expansion in your eyes, the top 5 expansions, according to you, were Art of War, Common Sense, For Rights of Man, and Mandate of Heaven.
See, I don't.
Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. Well, I've got a personal bias for Mandate of Heaven. Personally, I really love that.
No, I would also not agree with that. I think Dharma deserves to be in the top 5.
Yeah,
because India was a boring place to play.
Dharma came out.
Yeah, India was a boring place to play. Dharma came out, and India was a fun place to play. I think that kind of elevates Dharma enough to be, in contention there.
I think I would put Common Sense as one of the worst, actually, because it basically was a requirements DLC, but you had to get development, right?
I don't think they're really voting on that.
That's not anymore.
Though. Yeah, it's not anymore. But it's like, this is the worst DLC content-wise because you need it. I mean, I suppose I can see where you're coming from there.
I'm certainly a minority of one of these people who quite like Golden Century and also quite like the flavor packs, actually. I'm a big fan of the Russian one, the British one, the Spanish one. I like them.
I didn't like Golden Century. That didn't do anything really for me.
Yeah.
See, I got these like all at once, so I don't remember what really comes with each.
Well,
so Mandate of Heaven was about China, Dharma was about India.
Yeah.
Emperor was about the HRE mostly.
Oh wait, so you came into EU4 post Art of War?
Pretty much. I mean, I bought it back in 2014, I think. Like, a year or so after it came out, because they had the converter for CK2 to EU4. So I was like, oh, this sounds cool. I'll play a game in CK2, convert it over to EU4, and learn that game.
Oh man, before Art of War, I mean, obviously this was part of the patch that alongside it, you had to siege every single province. There wasn't, fort zone of control or strategic placing of forts. Every single province had to be sieged like a fort.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it was
put less than 50 hours into it before I started streaming, so
it was pain.
It sounds painful.
Yeah. Art of War absolutely deserves to be top, though. No arguments there.
Yeah. Emperor is pretty damn good, actually. I think that certainly deserves to be on there. Conquest of Paradise, I think, also deserves to be up there. I mean, apart from maybe the random new world mechanics, which I think everyone used once, possibly, and then I don't think many people play with it But they added, well, it was added in a patch, I guess, for Colonial Nations. But, you know.
And I mean,
performing
they
and
say here
stuff.
the most common play styles by far were reported to be role-playing and changing history.
I think people like to think that they're role playing, but actually don't. So I don't.
They start off role-playing and then it devolves.
Or they are role playing, but they're role playing as somebody who wants to conquer a lot of stuff.
Yes.
See, I normally play
But-
and try and make historical borders. That's what I normally
This,
do.
I think, is
I'm a
saying
sad
for
ass.
all Paradox games.
Yeah.
I like historical. Not historical plausibility is what I like to do. Like, is it plausible for this nation to have conquered this piece of land? Then I'll go for it, even if
Yeah.
they never actually did so.
Yeah. I mean, because like I'm probably guilty of that too, because I often, you know, colonize the East Indies, I guess, as most European countries, you know, whereas historically the Dutch did it. But, you know,
Yeah, I think if you want
It's not-
historical accuracy, just go watch a time-lapse video of map changes. If you want, like, you know, historical plausibility, that's why you play EU4.
Pretty borders is why I play EU4.
Oh yeah, pretty borders are a must as well.
Yeah. Very important.
They did make a small change to people who play multiplayer and use victory cards. States will now become less loyal if you ally with nations which you have victory cards upon.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I exclusively play multiplayer. I never play with victory cards, though. But, you know, there's always... I think that's the biggest problem with EU4 multiplayer is there's not enough things that will spark conflict between allied groups.
Yeah, I think that's where CK3 really shines, because there is. If you're allied to somebody, it's not permanent. Permanent alliances really ruin multiplayer for me, and I think, you know, CK3 is, when stable, really it hits that sweet spot for, you know, we can be allies, but this shit's not going to be permanent.
Yeah, and there's no like backstabbing required to break an alliance or something. You know it's going to end when either the person holding your alliance together dies, someone in the marriage, or your ruler dies or their ruler dies.
Yeah. The biggest problem with CK3 and 2, I guess, multiplayer, was people swearing fealty and then that becoming a sort of permanent alliance.
I mean, there are still issues that I think need to be house ruled to play CK3 multiplayer effectively.
Yeah.
Like teleporting your men-at-arms around is just absolutely broken. I think you definitely need to tone down the amount of seduction going around and abduction. That needs to be toned down to have, you know, a multiplayer that's fun. But I think on the war front, if you're not playing it like a metagaming asshole, then it's probably the best multiplayer.
Yeah.
You definitely need more. We need more rules when you set up a multiplayer.
Yeah, you always
currently you can set it so you can't murder the other character, you can't murder the other character's family, and I think that's about it.
Yes, seduction on their family should also be. I feel
something you could set.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I'm just good. I've now got lover's box, and now I'm going to give it to your entire family forever. Oh, thanks.
We do have a new mechanic introduced for EU4.
We do.
Yes.
And I wish they'd shown a bit more about how it works rather than a screenshot showing the UI, but literally nothing else to do with it.
Yeah.
Johan's just teasing you.
He is. Like, I think the idea of a carpet siege button is just delicious, and I want it very, very badly. Please tell me how it works, though, because I have no clue.
I hope they automatically split up in fan out. That's my hope.
Yeah.
And then maybe they bunch back together again if another army gets too close or something. That'd be even more cool. Even more awesome. Even cooler. Something.
Yeah. I don't think it's like independent operations in Imperator, because in Imperator they don't split up the army to do sieges, and that's entirely what a carpet siege is. So I don't think it's that. I just don't know what it is.
Unless you have to like split them up first and then you can't use assignment.
Then I don't feel that it's worth it,
I don't
because
think it's worth it.
yeah, then the amount of time you're going to be selecting, this army, and then we'll set this to carpet siege. Then you can just like split up the army with S a bunch of times, then select them all, click, then V, then click, then V, then click, then V, then click, then V, and then done. You've done it.
Yeah,
it's certainly not.
saying it looks more like the naval missions that they added.
Oh, if it uses the same kind of logic for that, I will never use it, because that is not working. It's terrible. The blockade button, just no. Not good.
Yeah, never use it. I just micromanage.
Yeah. Float my own dudes over there, then, detach a blockade, then move on.
Yeah.
It's so much more efficient.
And then next week we have Groogy talking about a major religion without unique mechanics. That will get one.
It's got to be animist. It's got to be animist, with all of, especially with it being Groogy talking about it, and all of the changes we've had to North America already. It has to be animist. It has no mechanics. And what else? What other religion doesn't have mechanics?
Totemist. Does Totemist have unique mechanics as gods? I can't remember. It's been so long since I played Totemist.
I think I think that's actually pretty. No, apparently it does. There we go. I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
That's why we have chat here. That's why we record this live.
Yeah.
So chat can help fill us in on all the little tiny minute details that we forget about, because these games have just changed so much over the years.
They're huge.
Animist. What animist? I don't think there's many animist
Is it
nations.
building your totem? But all of North America is animist, though. And that's kind of like all of those North American tribes that have just been added by Groogy, and it's Groogy talking about them. I don't think this is really going to be a secret. It's got to be. I'd be very surprised if it's anything else.
Isn't all of North America totemist?
No, it's animist.
Animist, is it?
I mean, I think.
I mean, you could load up your game and check.
True.
I think it is totemist.
I have looked, and it is.
Trying to, off the top of my head, the animist nations would be. I think there's like a few provinces in Southeast Asia. Ryukyu is animist. There's a few I think the Miao people in China are animist. But obviously they're not the start of the game, which is part of Ming. I can't think of many more. There might be some in Africa. There's a lot. There's fetishists and animists in Africa, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Iroquois is totemist, so I might be wrong. It's obviously totemist. Shit.
It might be. Well, if it is totemist, I want to have. Remember in Civilization 2 and 3, you could custom build your palace as you progress through the game. I want that, but with a totem. I want to custom build my totem.
Nice.
That would be pretty fun. Interesting to see the artwork they would come up with.
And it would just be just cosmetic. There's no gameplay value in it whatsoever.
Well, unless you're customizing your religion to give extra gold from sheep. I don't know. And so now you've got a giant sheep head on your totem.
So the Welsh are animist, are they?
No, they're totemists.
Oh, they're totemists. Yeah, but they're animist as well, because the sheep is an animal.
They're animal totemists?
Yes.
Anatotemists?
Sure. We also got some information about the most popular countries as well, which has changed since the last time we were told this. France being way up there with 6%. I remember the last time we were told what the most popular countries were. Custom Nation was in the lead, with England in second place.
Yeah, I'm always surprised by the amount of people who play with Custom Nations. I don't think I've ever really done it.
I often, if I don't like a nation's ideas and they are reformable, like, for example, England, I sometimes will create a custom nation over the top of England with all of their provinces with ideas that I like, and then just instantly form England and keep my ideas. So now I'm England with good ideas.
Good ideas. Yeah. That makes sense.
It was right
That
after Rule Britannia.
surprised me about you.
Maybe.
A lot of things are
definitely
too. Ming is quite popular. I'm quite surprised by that.
Of all these countries, I've played them all except Portugal. I've never played as Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal's
that's the nation
chill
I've
game.
played the most as is Portugal.
I don't know why. I just think that Castile is a more valid nation for all of Portugal's goals.
Yeah. Portugal's like chill when you're playing Portugal.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we've kind of established already that's not my play style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do chill.
Though we do have Agmade in chat saying that he thought that's how totemism worked. That it chose bonuses to go with your totem.
Okay, it's been
Sorry,
so
yeah,
long.
He might have
the
just
guy's
dreamed
right.
that.
I do mean viable, not valid. Fair enough. Castile is more viable for all of Portugal's goals. There you go.
I think Totemis has just got a flat bonus to something. I'm pretty sure.
I don't even remember. It's been a long time
I mean,
since
I
played.
say I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure at all. I'm glad to see the Ottomans beating Byzantium, though.
I'm
fan of that.
not. I
mean,
understand it, but yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, I think that the Ottomans are one of the best picks for a tutorial game.
Yeah.
Because if I was going to make if I was going to teach somebody how to play the game, my suggestion would be play as the Ottomans to learn about warfare, because you don't need alliances, let's be honest. Then play as Castile to learn about trade and colonization. Then play as Austria to learn about diplomacy, and then play as France to do all of the above at the same time.
Yeah.
That's my run through of how to learn the game. And they're all there, so I guess it works out.
Yeah. Brandenburg's an interesting one. I'm sorry, Muscovy's not very high up. It's a bit of a shock for me.
Not for me. I every time I play Muscovy, I get really bored. I don't enjoy playing as Muscovy.
I quite like it once you've consolidated the East. Like Lanius or something, and then you march westward. It's nice. It's fun, especially if you got the expansion for Russia.
Yeah, I mean, I did a Muscovy campaign right after Third Rome came out, and the goal of the campaign was to own all the Romes, and I did that, and I'm like, now I'm bored.
That's
Well, that's the thing sometimes with you put in hundreds of hours and you do a whole bunch of goals in one of these games, and then you kind of sit and stare at it and go, okay, I think I'm done for a while. At least that's been my history with most of the Paradox games.
Yeah, I normally make historical borders and then just go, okay, cool, mission accomplished. Done.
next country to make historical borders with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, but that's something that's nice about getting the DLC for these games, is because every time you get a new DLC, you get a new game or a new part of a game to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did have a game come out with just a pack this past week, though, and we couldn't talk about it last week.
Aye, we did. Yes.
Yes. We were unable to talk about it because of embargo reasons.
But only for Leanna, right? I think our embargoes were we could give opinions, though we tried not to.
It said that, but then when I talked with DJ, he said to be safe and not give opinions.
Yeah,
because
being safe is good.
Yeah, so we didn't give any opinions. But we did have Necroids go out last week. If you got to watch the Stellaris Undead vs. the Living event over Halloween weekend on the Paradox channel, you got to see a whole bunch of different Necroids and how they play.
Oh, yeah.
Including the power that is Jeff. Praise the Jeff.
I
Praise the worm.
I don't. I just don't. I don't get the meme. I still don't. I don't understand it. I don't.
But Jeff is the worm. The worm is Jeff. The worm is love. The worm is life.
The worm is a better meme than Jeff.
But Jeff is the worm. They are one and the same.
Oh, God.
You didn't watch me role-playing this weekend, did you?
I have been very busy with a sick child this weekend, so no, I haven't.
Yeah. Basically, I was on the living team, and on the first day, we encountered the worm.
Oh.
And we praised the worm, and we got all those lovely planets. And then the second day, we were told, "Oh, since you have discovered the worm, you are now on the undead team."
Nice. I gotta go watch that.
So, that's why Jeff was the leader of the hegemony when we joined them, and so Jeff is the worm is Jeff.
As one does.
That's why
Very
we
nice.
joined. That's why we joined them.
Got it. You out of the three of us, you've definitely played the most Necroids. So go on then. Your opinion. I want to hear it.
I honestly think it is a good new start. It's definitely just a species pack, not a full overarching changing DLC. Like if you have no interest in playing with the new start, with the new origin, you're not going to want to buy this pack. It's just, that's the sole power of it. Unless you just want some cool new faces, which I know Lambert doesn't think they're so cool looking. But
there's a couple there that I really like. There's just some that I just have no love for. Like that one. Don't like that one.
I love Turtle Boy and Fish Tank.
So how is that a turtle? We've got a turtle.
He's got a shell. He's got a big shell on him.
Ah, it's not a shell. It's a cloak. But yeah, there is some in there that I really like, and I think probably are up there with my favorites of all of the species packs. There's some in there that would be in my top 5. Jeff is not one of them. But
well, don't ever let DJ hear you say that, because he knew that A-Spec was not a fan of Jeff, and so he made A-Spec play Jeff.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds like DJ.
And then everyone in A-Spec's Discord changed their name to Jeff.
Oh my God, poor guy, poor guy.
And his wife moderates, Dippy Nikki. She moderates for his Discord. It drove her bonkers.
I can imagine. I would be livid. There's also the new ship models, which I have. I absolutely love the new ship models. They're so good. I think this is now my favorite ship set.
Outside of the art, though, in terms of, we have our new origin, which is the Necrophage. And I think we touched on it a bit last week, but couldn't really give opinions. So when you're playing as them, you start with 2 species, the pre-patent and yourself. And the pre-patent guys can only be workers. They can't be specialists.
Yeah.
And your pre-patent dudes, they grow like normal species. Your necro dudes, they can only create 3 per planet that has the special building every 10 years.
And you can't build that special building if the place where the planet has stellar culture shock, which is what happens when you invade a primitive, which is what you start with as your the
guaranteed habitable worlds.
That's the ones. Thank you. So if you invade them to gain 2 more planets, you gain stellar culture shock for 10 years, and you got to wait until that goes down before you can start making more of your own pops on that planet.
Granted, what you can do is you can still colonize regularly, and if your necroid dudes are the only guys there, they will grow on their own on that planet as long as they're the only people on that planet, but they grow at minus 75%.
Yeah, it's a huge debuff. You never want to be that. Do that.
No.
I think it is a really interesting way of doing the assimilation kind of gameplay, because we have the the robots that can assimilate, and that's pretty cool. And now we've got these. I don't know if there is a hive mind assimilation. I feel like there should be. I feel like I'm forgetting it. Is there one for hive minds?
Yes, I think there is.
Wait.
I want to say there is. Could be wrong though.
The hive mind
Alfred
assimilation
tries
is
saying-
genetic modification. It's kind of bad.
Yeah, and you can also do it with around.
is-
I think.
We do have Alfred saying in chat that you can also convert other species to necrophages by purging them.
I did not know that. That's
which
pretty cool.
I haven't tried that.
Or is that cool? I don't like that. Everyone should be my species, not their own undead species. Yeah, no, screw that.
No, they become your dead species,
Are they becoming yours?
I would assume.
Yeah, I would have thought.
All right.
Select the Necroids pre-gen and swap them to Fanatic Purifiers. We will test this right now. There he is. I don't rate reanimated armies very highly, I will say. I don't think that's really very good at all.
No, I think we have
That's
to wait
role
for
play.
Yeah. I think you have to wait for the land warfare rework that is inevitably going to be imposed soon.
Oh, speaking of things that are inevitably going to be a thing, Espionage. We got the smallest of tiny teasers for that in the trailer for Necroids. There was, in the diplomacy panel, there was an Espionage tab. It was unclicked, but it was there. That makes me very excited.
Yeah. Oh, I quite like the sound of that.
Yeah, we know literally nothing about it so far, but yeah, it's enough to make you excited.
So yeah, purge type, necrophage.
So what exactly does that
Interesting.
do? What are the mechanics behind purge type? Like try and purge your Jaffels, your secondary species there.
Think I can here. They're purge type. The species is not being purged.
Right, that's your primary though. What do your secondary?
Oh, yeah.
And it's
They're
Jeff.
undesirables.
Oh, it's Jefferi. Oh, no, that's where it comes from. Ugh.
All right, so yeah, right now they're undesirables on my planet.
Maybe click on the planet and see what they're up to in there.
So I'm growing my regular guys, but the other guy, yep, they're being declined. Declining from necrophage. Interesting.
But what about jobs? The undesirable job is there as well.
Affected pops are gradually subsumed into the Pasharian race, whether they wish
That's
it
nice.
or not. Will purge an average of 1 pop per month implanted at base speed.
Oh my god, that is huge.
That's really good. Holy shit.
Who needs a bloody building for this? Oh my god.
Yeah, just look.
Thing is, I would think that this might actually slow down your pop growth.
I don't think it will, because generally what I think would be a good thing to do in a Necroids playthrough is have your primary Necroid be incredibly habitable, like super habitability everywhere. And then have a secondary species, lots and lots of secondary species, 1 per planet. And I think if you end up with more than 1 per planet, that second secondary species should probably be like just purged out of existence to make more of the primary.
Yeah.
You would have to, if you're going to make this viable, you'd have to focus and get your gene clinics ASAP early on. And then you would also, when do for traditions, go for expansion first, probably, to get the pop growth speed increased by 10%.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Undesirables
Let's see, and
can't
it
grow
does
as
say-
well. So you always want someone growing that isn't your primary species. So always having a secondary species is going to be good. But like if you get a third species, just go ahead and purge. So why not?
Yeah. Like, let's see if we could
So I don't think in this case it would be worth it to purge the Jafari.
But see, we can't do anything with them. We can't. Fanatic purifiers cannot tolerate the existence of Xenos.
Yeah, that's going to be a very difficult playthrough then, isn't it?
We got one left.
Yeah, 1 a month is crazy.
Yeah, that is.
And the thing is, it actually is kind of powerful with the necrophages having 2 species because there you go. That's it.
Yeah,
you dudes.
Have you managed to experience like having a necrophage and also a thrall world, right? Where it's like 50% extra pop growth? Because I imagine that's bound to be super powerful, right?
You don't have to be fanatic purifiers to necrophage purge either.
Interesting.
That's going to be, that's probably going to be a really fun playthrough as it happens fast. Like 1 a month is so fast. It's so crazy. Yeah, 1 a month is so fast. Like it makes the galaxy my population actually kind of viable.
And there are some bonuses to having 1 pre-patent species, just because you make them your slaves. You have someone who's very strong and industrious because they're just good at getting you resources.
I like to make my pre-patent species also grow faster.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah. Necrophage and Barbaric Despoiler would also be strong. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's so much you can do with that. That seems like a really fun campaign.
Oh, I'm running a beta as well that has a buff to all purge types.
Oh, nice.
We played with the beta this weekend, so it's still on that.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't run with betas? Right? I mean, most people, sure. But like, who... among people who are nerdy enough to watch a podcast talking about Paradox updates, you're all nerdy enough to go with a beta as well, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Mostly. I mean, sometimes you worry that the beta will break your achievement run or something, so you didn't want to run with that.
I mean, I don't do achievement runs when I'm on a beta. That's also a little silly.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that. But here's my Jeff Empire.
Jeffrey.
So, these guys, there's a whole bunch of dudes here. Some I don't even like.
Well, purge them then.
So, undesirables. Purge type. Oh, purging is enabled in policies. Wait a minute.
Your Jeffs are a bit too happy right now.
Apparently, displacement only.
Ooh, and you can't do allowed because you
have to be xenophobes.
You need to be fanatic. Yeah, xenophobe or fanatic xenophobe.
Xenophobe or fanatic xenophobe. All right, so my guys are just...
I'm going to remake my species for when I do my Let's Play in Necroids to be a little bit xenophobic.
Yes, you do want to make them xenophobic if you want to do this. Otherwise, you just displace them. Okay. Good to know, folks. So if you want to do your necrophages and have them purge people to turn them into necrophages, you have to be xenophobic.
And then the song, that Stellaris 40k song, just, let's be xenophobic today. It's really in. Yeah, no, that works, you know. Xenophobia, shit in real life, really good in Stellaris.
Yeah.
Gotta point out, only in Stellaris, guys.
There's a lot of things like that in Stellaris.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, mass genocide on a galactic scale, don't do it in real life.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself an advocate for mass galactic genocide personally. Yeah. I don't want to get too political of a podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry for getting political, but we're anti-genocide, guys. Sorry.
We're anti-galactic genocide, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and you can upgrade your buildings. So instead of 3 necrophages every 10 years, you can get 6 plus 1 for every 50 pops on the planet.
Yeah. I doubt many planets are going to get more than 10.
7. I think it's my largest planet. It's 71. Yeah. But it depends on, I mean, you get yourself an Ecumopolis and pour a lot of people onto there.
All your undesirables and immediately turn them all to be purged. Oh, so good.
I know. For all worlds.
Mhm.
For all worlds where it's at.
Yeah, you get
That
yourself
would be
a
right.
Ecumenopolis and you want to make it really good really quickly. Put all your trash pops there from all your conquests. Thrall World, purge the lot of them. They're now all your primary species, and you've now got just a really quick way of getting a planet up to being good. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
powerful. I love it. It's my new favorite way to play.
Or raiding, if you can raid people.
Yeah, which I
And
don't
take the
think
pops.
needs to. I really don't like that raiding needs to take, firstly, a war, and secondly, an ascension perk. Like, it would be really nice if I could just, do a bit of sneaky raiding, and then, if you get caught, then sure, that's a CB that they can use, or they can fight you while you're in their borders. But, like, ascension perks are kind of valuable from them being so limited, and, going to war with somebody, if I'm strong enough to go to war and bombard your planets to take pops, I'm strong enough to just take your planet. So I don't think nihilistic, not nihilistic. It's all the way at the top, I think, the bombard one. I just don't find it ever worth it.
No.
Nihilistic acquisition.
Yeah, that's the one. I just don't think it's ever worth taking. If I'm strong enough to nihilistically acquiesce your pops, I'll just take your planet, mate. That's my stance on it.
The only time I ever used it is like when I was playing multiplayer. It's like, I don't want to take your planet because it's I don't know, maybe it's just breaks for fun of the game a little bit. But I'll steal a handful of pops.
Yeah, multiplayer raiding is a lot of fun.
Or if you really you're not going to be able to get them to 100% anytime soon. So you're just going for that choke point. You've taken the choke point, and then you're going to go sit on one of their planets and like, look, the longer you wait in surrendering this one system to me, the more pops you lose. So I would suggest giving me the system.
Mm-hmm.
I can also see that being a thing. But yeah, it should be a part of, if you're a barbaric despoiler or something, you should be able to just raid without a war, without an ascension perk.
Yeah.
I think you could originally, couldn't you?
Certainly not without a war.
You always get a catch.
Yeah, I think you needed a war, but you could do it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
and it was a war because, then their ships could fight you. I don't know there was a mechanic.
I mean, I feel like there has to be, because you can fight other people's ships when you don't see them. Like when you don't know of their empire and you just see, these are the alpha Xenos. Then you can fight then.
Yeah.
But I think if Stellaris is going to get an espionage update, having, the ability for conflict without full-scale galactic warfare would go so well with that. That'd really open up so many possibilities with the game.
You can abduct from primitive worlds with the rating.
Yeah, that's fair, but I could also just invade your planet and take your planet.
Yeah.
Speaking of the primitive worlds, DJ decided to be very evil this past weekend, and to No Virtue, who was playing one of the necrophages, he gave her a necroid empire that was peaceful. So they could never invade primitives.
In fairness, I saw a lot of the I did catch a tiny bit of the streams. There was a lot of people that weren't invading them for that, the big penalty to stellar culture shock, and they were uplifting instead, even without being peaceful. I mean, I know A-Spec did that. He went with the uplift strategy, and I mean, it seemed to be faster than waiting for the stellar culture shock to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And and to be fair, No Virtue is ridiculously good at the game and definitely needs the handicap. Absolutely.
Yes. But then we had Stefan Anon on the other side.
What was his handicap? He needs one too.
He ended up being a fallen empire we all had to invade at the end.
So the opposite of a handicap.
Well.
Gotcha.
Well, he was on the living side, and then he could never attack anyone. He could only defend his borders.
Fair.
And it was him versus the entire galaxy.
Did he win?
He still won.
Oh, of course he did. Of course he did.
Because our fleets got split because some people decided to jump drive, and some other people didn't have jump drive.
Yeah.
And yeah, one person controlling one side is a lot more effective than 11 people controlling the other side.
Yeah, for sure. Although it does make it easier to, we'll attack him in from 2 angles and he can't defeat us both. Except he probably could. And
True.
He definitely did.
Cringer did do rather remarkable raiding. He went in and I think he took his matter decompressor and was raising hell on one end of Stefan's empire. Oh yeah, I don't remember the details of his empire, but Stefan also got a very bad empire.
Fair enough.
Fun to roleplay, but bad in min-maxy terms.
Yeah, that's what you need to do with the super players.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
I think one of the big strategies that I've taken from DJ is jumping in with just a juggernaut, creating as many corvettes as you can in the shortest period of time, and then jumping out to somewhere else. The corvettes just fly around, killing some stations, just ruining economies, and then you just keep going around doing that again and again and again as much as you can, and then you bamf out again. It's a good strategy for multiplayer only.
Yep, I had the Gaia world, which was a bit of a handicap until I met friends that wanted to share species, and then I colonized. But I colonized so late compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
Oof. But then we found the worm. Praise the worm. The worm is Jeff. Jeff is life. Jeff is undead. Praise. Praise.
And now I'm thinking of the song that I did last Christmas. Or was it the Christmas before?
Oh, we should do that again this year.
I still can't sing though, is the issue. My voice, my vocal range has not gotten any better.
I can't either.
You're damn sight better than I am.
Really?
Yes, objectively. There's no argument here. I can get my wife to sing for me, then it's fine. It's just not me singing, then, is it? It's not about success, Lambert. It's about dancing for our amusement. That's all so fair.
Where's the link to yours?
You don't need it. Wait, no, you definitely don't need it. There's no need for anything of the sort. Please. Why did I bring this up? Why did I do this to myself? What's wrong with me?
Wow. I look Stellaris Christmas Carol and I get a whole lot of you playing roleplay multiplayer.
Yeah.
You're singing the whole time.
If you search for The Worm Loves Us, you'll find it.
Oh, that was, yep. The worm.
Just absolutely glorious and lovely. Nothing wrong with it.
It's beautiful.
I mean, if you're, tone deaf, sure. Oh, God. I'll just go ahead and die of embarrassment. Why not?
It's not too bad. It's all right. I quite like it. Fair play to you.
But it goes on for another 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's quite a long one.
Well, I mean, I knew that if I was going to do a song, I was going to base it on, my favorite band, which is Queen. So I just took their song, Thank God It's Christmas, and then changed it to, The Worm Loves Us.
Yeah.
So I did all the lyrics. Then I sang, and then Linda sang over it and made it better.
Yeah, next time do Mariah Carey.
No.
Well, here's this one. This was my version, which is just me singing, heavily edited.
So was this like a competition or something?
See, that was good. I don't know what you're complaining about.
I don't like my voice there.
I mean, in fairness, no
That's
one likes
right.
their own voice, but I think on an objective scale, mine is worse.
I don't know. We'll let Father Loris in chat decide this.
Oh, fair enough.
You're both shit in comparison to my angelic voice. That's all I'm saying.
Just awful.
It seems very fitting for this week. Okay. Oh, but we should do it again this year, Lambert.
Yay.
Just get your wife to sing it. You don't even have to sing yours.
I don't think she'd accept that. Like it, because basically what we have here is me embarrassing myself and her making me slightly less shit, or making the video slightly less shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she'd accept doing it solo. She could. She's got an amazing voice, but like I'm not sure if she'd accept that.
Well, no, what you should do is like record yours and then tell her to like, you know, sing over the top of it, and then in the final video just make your own.
yeah, that not very good for like a healthy marriage though, that one, is it?
Well,
No,
every
it's
good
not.
marriage is founded on deception, Lambert.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't come to me for a relationship advice.
Just
Before we go into the deep end of that and go to giving advice that we're probably not supposed to give, I think we need to wrap up here.
yeah, for sure.
So, Lambert, where can folk find you these days?
I am on YouTube at Lord Lambert, and also on Twitch with Lord Lambert _. On YouTube, it's mostly CK3 right now. And on Twitch, it's whatever tickles my fancy. It's been a lot of role-playing games recently. We did some Baldur's Gate. We did some Solasta. We did some CK3 yesterday, which is also role-playing, so I guess it fits. I'm trying to go more into Twitch. So it's been fun.
Father Loris?
Yeah, you can find me chapelcomic.com and Twitter too. I'm still in lockdown, so I'm just trying to stay positive still while all my hobbies and joy has been banned by the Welsh government. So, but, you know, it ends this week, so hopefully I can get a comic out next week. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Just go play Jeff. Just go make a Jeff comic.
Well, I will. I'll feel more inspired next week, I'm sure.
All right, and I am Enigmatic Rose. I am on Twitch and YouTube. Twitch is kind of hit or miss currently. YouTube, I should have a CK3 achievement video going up hopefully by Friday. We'll see if I can get it finished. And then Friday also, I'm been asked to by the community ambassador for CK3 to join the community team for a live on Friday and talk about CK3.
Very nice.
So that's exciting stuff in my world.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep, so mostly CK3 and Stellaris at the moment. But I think that's it for us.
Yeah.
Y'all have anything to add?
No. Oh, yeah, go follow the podcast in the various places that the podcast is.
Yes, we are on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and VOD should be up on Twitch, hopefully. And then Twitter, if you want announcements from us. We're everywhere, NoCB Cast. Thank you so much, and remember, praise Jeff.
Aye. Bye-bye.